Hello and welcome to my channel, The Enthusiast Garage. This video, we're gonna continue working C4 Corvette. I'm gonna show you how I pulled the engine, and then we're gonna take the heads apart and inspect the engine. So let's get to it. All right, so let's backtrack a bit and show you what I've done on the bottom of the car before I connected the engine hoist on the top side. All right, so here we have the bottom of the car, and so far what I've done, I removed the slave clutch cylinder over here, just moved it aside. I removed the starter, but didn't take it out all the way. I just moved it out enough so I can remove the inspection plate right here on the transmission. And it was held on by 4 small screws. And then I disconnected the pressure sensor over here on the passenger side, and I disconnected the O2 sensor. Here's the cable for it right here. And I did the most hectic job already, which is removing the bell housing bolts. There's 6 bolts total, and it was an absolute nightmare to remove them. And that's actually one of the reasons I didn't really film it, because it's really hard to film something like that, but I will show you what I used. I don't know if my method was the best method, but I was able to remove all 6 of them. The one over here, the ones you see, 1, 2, 3, are not, there's only 2 on this side, are not as hard. And the 2 on this side also not as hard. But there's 2 all the way on top that I can't even get an angle to show you guys. But the 2 on top are the hardest ones to remove. I used very long extensions and swivels. I'll show you the tools now. But now what's left is the engine mounts. The engine mounts are still connected. There's the slide-in bolt right here, and then there's the 2 screws under it. So once I have the car on the engine hoist, the engine, and then I'll support the transmission here with this transmission jack, then I can remove those engine mounts and I should be able to pull the engine out. One more thing I removed was the ground cable right here. It was on the side of the engine. So there's the 2 sensors, this sensor here, ground cable, slave master cylinder, starter, the plate, the bell housing bolts, and finally the engine mounts. And of course the manifolds are disconnected. They're all removed from top side and bottom side. And once all that is done, you should be able to pull the engine out of the car. All right, to remove those 6 bell housing bolts, you need a 9/16 socket, like this one. But here we go, 9/16. But to reach the ones on top, you're gonna need a swivel socket. This is a Pittsburgh swivel socket set. I have a metric and standard right here. And this is really what was the lifesaver for me, because they work with an impact wrench. And of course, you need a lot of extensions. I used almost every long extension I have here, combined 3/8 and 1/2 inch, to be able to get like 4 or 5 extensions together, because you need to reach it from the back of the transmission. So over here, the bolt is all the way inside. When you reach the extensions, you want the extension to come from here, not from bottom side, because you can't really have a sharp angle on it or the swivel not gonna work. So you need to kind of do like a little bit of an angle, like 20-degree angle on it with an extension. So I used my impact, the big M18 impact, and I was able to remove 5 out of the 6 bolts. Now the last bolt, the one on top, I kept trying to remove it with an impact and I couldn't, and actually the swivel socket broke, which I've never seen happen, because this is rated for impact. This is the 9/16 one I've been using. So luckily Harbor Freight give lifetime warranty on those Pittsburgh sockets, so I can just go swap it out. But I was really shocked when that happened. So when that happened, I just used this swivel extension, which you can't use an impact with it, and I switched to all 1/2 inch extensions, and I used the 1/2 inch ratchet, the bigger one, and I did it by hand, and luckily it opened up. And once you open up the initial torque to break the nut loose, the screw should be easy to remove after that. So that's what I did to remove those 6 bell housing bolts. All right, so before I connect the engine hoist, I want to show you guys what's the update so far. So I pulled the exhaust manifolds. I disconnected them from the bottom and completely pulled them out. I removed the nut on the engine mount right here. It's still connected, the bolt's still here. It's giving me a hard time, so I'm gonna wait till I have it up on the hoist. On the other side, all right, so on the other side, I removed the exhaust manifold as well. Let me get a good light going. It's always hard to get a good lighting. All right, so on the passenger side, I also removed the exhaust manifold, and I disconnected the, let me see, the starter cables right here. And there was another ground right here that I had to disconnect. It was a 7mm screw. So now I think we're ready to pull the engine, connect the hoist. I'm gonna connect it from the bottom right here, passenger side back, and on the front, driver's side right here. So I'm gonna put the connections, then set the camera and start pulling on the engine, see if we can disconnect it from the drive shaft. All right, so I just connected the hoist on it. I used the front 2 bolts, and then I used one on the intake manifold here, and one right here in the back. And I do have a transmission jack supporting the transmission. And now I'm gonna start jacking up the hoist and hope for the best. So let me set the camera in a nice place. So since I released the tension on the engine mounts, I actually was able to just slide out the engine mount bolt just like that. So here's the nut for it. Put it aside. So now engine mounts are disconnected. Everything's disconnected. The only thing is connecting the engine is to the drive shaft and transmission. And I want to see if I mess with the angle. Well, let me lift more and then I can mess with the angle. I don't want it to pull to the front, so I'm gonna release tension and maybe move the whole engine hoist to the front, so when it pulls, it kind of pull it this way. I want to see if there's anything that's getting stuck on it. This harness not getting stuck. Let me move the harness out of the way. All right, so I see that the engine is disconnected from the engine mounts all the way. I just want to see where it's hitting. So it's still attached to the transmission. That's why it's not getting yanked out. I wonder if I left anything. I removed the bell housing bolts. So I'm thinking now if I should remove something else. One of the instructions in Haynes manual mentioned that the flywheel got some bolts, so when I remove the inspection plate, I can rotate the engine and remove the 3 bolts in the flywheel, but I didn't see any bolts, and I thought maybe because I have the Doug Nash transmission. It's not an automatic or regular manual. So before I yank on it more and break something, I'm gonna do a quick look up and see what's going on. Let me see. No, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll look it up real quick, see what else, and maybe go under, take a look at it, see if I can maybe use a pry bar and pry the engine off the transmission, and then go from there. All right, so after 2 cigarettes and a cup of coffee and reading more, there's really nothing I couldn't find about that 4.3 Doug Nash transmission. So with automatic transmissions, you have to remove the torque converter. This is when you remove the whole clutch plate. And manual transmissions, there's also something to remove, but this Doug Nash, I didn't find anything. So I just dropped the engine a little bit. I took a look on the bottom just to make sure everything is disconnected. So now I raised it again and I used the big pry bar, this pry bar right here, and I kind of like wiggled the transmission a little bit. I just raised it up now and I felt something as if it got disconnected. So I'm sorry I didn't have that on camera. I didn't expect it to nudge, honestly, but now I think we should be able to remove it. So. Yeah, I see the flywheel disconnected now. All right. So I definitely see the flywheel now. The transmission did get disconnected. I just have to move the engine more forward because I think it's hitting the firewall. And that distributor is really annoying. I wish I just removed the distributor, but let's see. Let me hang on it more, see what happens. No, now the whole car is moving and I don't want the whole car to move off the lift. So let me drop it and maybe reposition the hoist. Maybe if I mess with the angle more and angle it more this way. No. Feel like car is getting lifted. I don't want that to happen. Okay, so. Try now. I mean, if I had the hood out, I think it could have been easier to just pull the engine back. So I can yank on it back while I'm pulling. I think it's getting stuck on either the windshield wiper mechanism or the distributor itself. Maybe I should remove the windshield wiper and then I can see more what's going on. So. All right, so I removed the windshield assembly right here, the wiper assembly. I tried to remove the distributor. It's being very stubborn. I already removed the bolt on it, the screw, which was really annoying to remove. It's that been removed, and yet I couldn't pry it open, and it broke. The whole assembly broke while I'm trying to pry it up. It doesn't want to get removed. So I think we should have enough room though. It's not that gonna be the one hitting, and if it hit, this is just rubber, so it should be able to move it out of the way. So I'm gonna try again now. Hopefully with this assembly being removed, it's not gonna hit on anything. So let's see what's gonna happen. The whole car, every time I raise it too much, the whole car will lift, and I don't want that to happen. I don't know what it's still holding on to. I can see the transmission being split from the engine from here. So I'm gonna pry on that part here. Oh, finally. Oh my God, finally. Finally. So I guess the trick was to pry on the transmission from the top side while I'm lifting it. Oh my God, that was a nightmare job. Okay, see how I do this. Turn like that. Okay, I drop this tiny bit. All right, so I just mounted the engine on an engine mount, engine stand. And I was gonna work on it on the crane and put it on a tire, or then I figured let me just get an engine stand and start working on it the right way, because I might just rebuild this engine. If I pull the heads and the condition of the block is not that bad, I might just machine it and rebuild this engine instead of getting a different one. So to mount it, it wasn't that tricky. I just had to remove the clutch and the flywheel. I have the clutch and the flywheel over there. Pretty straightforward procedure. Just remove all the bolts and then the bolts for the flywheel. When you buy the stand, it doesn't come with bolts to attach it to the engine, to mount the engine. So those bolts are 3/8 16 thread bolts, and you need to get a 3-inch long bolt to go in. So I just went to Lowe's and picked up 4 of them with 4 washers, and I was able to mount it. I really like this engine stand. It's only $100 from Harbor Freight. It's very cheap. It's good quality. You can remove the pin over here and turn the engine. So it's pretty nice. So I'm gonna set the camera now and start working on pulling both heads off. All right, so I have the whole area set up so I can start pulling the heads. But first, I want to empty all the coolant that's still stuck inside the water pump. So I have something to catch it under it, and I'm just gonna turn the engine a little bit and try not to make a mess and drop all the coolant inside the bucket. There wasn't much left. I guess all of them already dropped on the floor, so I'm a bit too late for that. All right, so first step, I'm gonna start removing all the rockers. All right, so the rockers are held on by a 5/8 nut. All right, so some of them are stuck. I think I need to hit it with a rubber mallet. There we go. So every rocker got this spacer on it that have like a concave, and that sits inside the rocker just like that. The rocker have an arrow pointing down. All right, so now I'm gonna remove all the spark plugs. It's just a 5/8 spark plug socket. All right, now I'm gonna remove all the head bolts. There are 5/8 bolts. And there's one hidden over here. There's a lot of gunk, so I'm gonna have to use a pick and clear the gunk around it. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 on top. Then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on the bottom. And forgot to remove all the push rods. I'm gonna remove them now. The condition is pretty bad. So the push rod should have like a hole here to be able to push the oil up, and you can see it's already completely clogged up. All right, now to remove the 8 on the bottom. Yeah, coolant are coming out from this side. So let me just move this here. All right, now to continue on the removal. Hopefully that's all the coolant that's inside the engine. I think the only thing that's still holding on to it is the gasket. Well, I still need to remove the intake manifold, so yeah, plenty of things still holding on to it. But I removed all the bottom bolts now. I'm gonna leave that sensor on the driver's side. Right now I'm gonna remove the intake manifold. It's held on by T40 screws. I already loosened most of them up when it was still in the engine, but there's a couple of screws here hidden under the distributor, and my distributor is completely stuck. I hammered on it, I tried a pry bar, and the top end broke, so I need to definitely replace it. And it's still stuck on even though I removed the hold down bolt and bracket on it. So I'm gonna start taking out the screws. Right, I loosened all of them up. Now I'm gonna use a power tool to just pull them out. So now I think the only thing that's stopping it from pulling out is the distributor. Okay, so that's top dead center. This is when the TDC mark is and distributor is pointing at cylinder number 1. So I just want to try when I remove it for it to be a top dead center, but it's been really stubborn, so I'm probably gonna hammer more on it, use a chisel, I don't know. It's already broken, so I don't care if I break it more, I'm gonna have to replace it. But I just need to get it out somehow. So I'm gonna start on that process. Man, very stubborn. No way, the whole bar is bending. All right, let's try now. Nah, I don't know, it doesn't wanna move. All right, so I'm sorry about that. I lost some footage. My phone battery ran out, and I have it plugged in now, so that's why I'm not using a microphone. The voice is gonna sound a little bit different. I pried on it. It doesn't want to go up. I used 2 big pry bars. That's all the footage that was missed, and it didn't want to budge. It's already broken when I tried to pry on it before, but it doesn't want to remove from the intake manifold, and I need to remove the intake manifold to be able to pull out the heads. So the whole intake manifold is loose now. As you guys can see, it's lifting. I was able to go around with a pry bar all around, and it's all lifted up. It's only stuck on the distributor side. So I decided to take the distributor apart from the top. Maybe I am missing something, and see what's going on with it. I don't think there's anything on top that I need to remove to be able to remove it. It's just that hold down bolt that's already been removed. It's just stuck on there because everything on the inside is broken. Like, I'm replacing it anyways because it already broke with me on the outside, but I hate how it's taken that long for me to take it out. All right, I'm gonna put some heat on it and hopefully I can expand the metal. Not out yet. Alright, so I just soaked it with Croil. Since now there's like a gap, I put the little straw inside, soaked it, let it sit for a little bit, then I'm gonna go at it again now. Oh, finally. Oh my god, finally. Oof. Oh my god, it's so stuck on there. Oh my god. Well, that's what pulled out. Not even the actual distributor, just the cap. Yeah, it's still on there, but at least the cap is off. So I can finally remove the intake manifold. Here we go. Oof. Oh wow. Let me bring the camera over, show you guys what's going on. So here the distributor is still stuck. But look at all the broken push rods on the inside. I wonder if they broke now when I was hammering or if they've been broken. Hold on. Yeah, oh my god, there's bent push rods. No, I think they've been broken. No way I did that much damage by just hammering on it. Wow. What's that? Wow. So that's what broke also from the distributor. I think that's supposed to come out with it. So that this is where it's stuck really, right here. So maybe if I hammer on this part, I can actually pull it out now. All right, let me set the camera, try to pull the head. Oh, this cover right here is supposed to be here, I guess, because there's one over here. All right, let me set the camera and pull the head on it. All right, so time to pull the head finally. And it's pretty loose since I've been hammering on it for the past hour to remove the distributor. So there we go. Pretty heavy. Oof. All right. Yeah, so this line is cylinder 1, top dead center. That's why the piston goes up all the way. And let's see if we can see any gasket damage. I mean, there's a lot of rust. But I'm trying to inspect to see if the gasket failed somewhere. And it usually shows like as if it's broken or something. So let's take a look at it. This is the head gasket. And I don't see it failing at any spot. Huh, very interesting. All right, I'm gonna move it aside and I'm gonna skip the video and remove the other side of the head. All right. There we go. I think there's green mold growing on this cylinder here. Let's see that. Let me rotate the engine so this cylinder can pop out more. Wow. So let's inspect the head gasket. I'll zoom it out. I think, yeah, that's actually a good view. So trying to inspect, see where the head gasket might have failed. And maybe it didn't fail because honestly, the coolant doesn't have oil in it and the oil doesn't have coolant in it, so it never mixed. So I think the culprit in this engine is the owner at some point put water in the engine instead of coolant. And it sat for a while with just water in the engine. What caused all this oxidization to happen, the rust in the chambers, because you guys can see the quality of the chambers is really bad. All the inside of the engine is all brown and just a lot of rust. And this is just not an iron block, it's iron heads as well. So the heads really showed damage. And I think that's what really killed the engine. It sat, it had water in it, it sat for a really long time, and then someone tried to start it, and the valves started bending, the push rods, they snapped, and I don't know, maybe it jumped timing as well. I'm not sure about the timing on it, but I'm assuming something's going on, and I'm still debating if I should just rebuild the engine since I already have it down to the block. If I should do a 383 stroker, I'm not sure. Or if I should just get a whole different engine, L98. I still haven't made that decision yet. All right, so I just wanted to grab the camera and show you guys up close what's going on. So definitely the passenger side looked worse than the driver's side, but overall the whole engine is shit. And here's the head. I turned them around. You can see the valves. This is the driver's side valves. I can see this one is sticking. And this one a little bit open. This is what's gonna cause that leak down test to show bad compression. All the valves should be closed. They shouldn't be open like that. And here's the passenger side. And you can see valves are open on it. Yep. So here's a close-up. At first I was keeping count like which push rod goes where, but after seeing the condition of the other one, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna touch anything with them. I'm not gonna reuse any of that stuff anyways. I knew I wasn't gonna reuse the rockers. You can just buy new ones, but yeah, the whole thing gonna need to be changed. So here it is. Here's everything. All right, so this is it for this video. We got the engine out. We pulled the heads. Engine was a bit hard to pull out because of the whole bell housing and all that, and doing the job on my own. The heads weren't that bad, but distributor is actually still stuck on there. I was never able to remove it. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do next video yet. Next video gonna definitely be the new engine. I don't know if I'm gonna take it to the machinist. I still need to talk to the machinist, see what he can do. There's different routes, multiple routes I can take. The bottom end definitely need to be rebuilt as well. The pistons and all that, I'm not gonna reuse any of that stuff. So one of the options is to make it into a 383 stroker engine and buy the whole stroker kit, bigger pistons, of course rebuild the heads. Another option, I can get another L98 with an aluminum heads from a 1990 Corvette and up. It would be a direct fit. I don't have to worry about any of the ECUs or electrical harness. One of the options is LS swap, but I'm not a big fan of the LS swap just because of how I'm gonna lose every single like dash control, the cluster, all the electronics will be replaced, the harness, the ECU, and I don't wanna go through all that. And for me, the payoff is not, you know, the LS not gonna give you that much more power, or it's gonna give you better gas mileage, but I don't care about gas mileage for something like that. 383 stroker definitely give you way more power than LS stock swap. So I don't know. I'm still not sure depending on the deals I find on all that, but this is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.